All right. So today I will be building the Speed Champions APXGP car. So 4 bags, 268 pieces, a couple minifigures. The first one here being Sonny Hayes, Brad Pitt's character in the movie. Really nice torso print on this minifigure. Definitely feels a lot better than some last year's F1 minifigures. I thought the minifigures on those ones were sort of a bit boring and plain. The helmet's also quite nice, some of its logos. And the next one, I believe, what is it? I believe it's Joshua Pierce, I think is the character. Same torso, different face print, and then a pretty nice looking helmet. But yeah, I'm expecting this one to be pretty much the same, even though I guess last year's builds, quite a few of them were quite different, but at the same time, yeah, this one, I think, has a few different features compared to some of the other cars. Hello. I guess this one, color-wise, would probably be relatively similar to the Cadillac F1 car getting revealed this weekend. But I guess that one probably will have a bit more white and probably no gold like this one has. But given their race suits, I would assume that it's going to be mainly black like this one. Alright. Yeah, it's the it was one of the 3 movie one of the 3 movie Speed Champion sets from January. This one, the Lightning McQueen, and then the DeLorean. And yeah, I think it's a pretty nice looking one, even though the movie wasn't necessarily my favorite thing that I saw, but yeah, it has nice minifigures. I think they did the suits on the minifigures much better this time around compared to last year's ones, which were sort of boring. I thought the builds were really well done last year, but the minifigure race suits were missing a little bit. Alright, and the first bag is just about done. This was a very short one. And I guess this build process will be relatively quick, probably slowed down a bit by the 27 stickers that it has. Yeah, I don't know, I do kind of, I like this car from the movie. I think it looks alright. There's some, like, it reminds me of Walter Wolf Racing was a team, I think, in the 1970s, I believe, and that car was sort of similar to this one in the gold and black colors, so I guess it kind of reminded me of that car, and I quite liked their car. Also, the Lotus, there's a gold and black Lotus that I guess it also sort of reminds me of Yeah, certainly, certainly a lot of stickers. I think, yeah, it's about the same as last year's ones. Like, I think the range from last year's Speed Champions F1 cars were from like about 20 to 30 was sort of each one. So this one is definitely a bit on the higher end. Even though compared to a lot of them, this doesn't have like a ton of sponsored details on it. All paper bags in this one, which yeah, I think it was the Lightning McQueen was another one from this January that had the paper bags. But I don't think the DeLorean did, so I guess it's still slowly going out. I've got the steering console, which once again, I don't think they've changed it, is still in second gear. Why exactly they picked second gear is kind of beyond me, considering that I would assume that they want to present the car in its fastest state and not when it's slowing down or speeding up for the very little time that it spends in second gear. Some prints in this bag, which I guess there's going to also be a few prints, but quite a few, certainly quite a few stickers. I think this, well, it's a relatively new element, but I quite like it, but I don't think I've seen it in pearl gold before. This rounded off part, it's sort of a nice color. I guess this set probably has a few recolors of some parts to get them into the pearl gold color. I find Speed Champions always has some nice recolors for different elements. And they've got the nice printed tires once again this time. On this one it's the hard compound tires, and they have the larger rear ones, which is nice. Yeah, it took that one a long time to upload. I don't know why it did, but yeah, I recorded that one a couple weeks ago and just finally got around to putting it up. But yeah, that was a really good set. I think Speed Champions really had a pretty solid January, and then they also had just the regular cars. It was, I guess, quite a big wave of sets for January. Alright, some plates in pearl gold. I don't really remember what the build process was like on last year's ones, but this one feels relatively similar. There was sort of, if I remember correctly, it was sort of like I feel like there was about three sort of mainly different builds. Each one had certain components that were different from the rest, but sort of the main skeleton and structures of the builds last year, there were sort of three different ones, I think. And yeah, this one I think feels different than those in a way. I don't know which car they modeled this one off for the movie, but I think I know there's a few shots in the movie where they sort of just put the livery of the car over over an existing car from an actual race. But yeah, I don't think this one is necessary. It's sort of kind of, I guess, like Mercedes is what it feels the most like. But yeah, I guess this one is from the 2023 and 2024 cars, the most in its design. Yeah, I'm excited to pick up the Audi one when that comes out. Whenever, I think it's in March or something like that. I know it's near when the season starts, but I'm excited to pick up that one, even though the build definitely looks quite a bit simplified compared to this one and last year's cars, which sort of makes sense for the smaller cars of this year. But yeah, a couple prints now. Pretty nice ones too. I feel like white prints onto darker pieces can tend to be quite faded, but they seem pretty solid. I think a lot of the prints actually that I've seen this year have felt a bit better or looked a bit better than some previous year's ones, where some prints were a little bit faded. I think a lot of the sets that I've got this year that have included some sort of printed elements that have previously, I feel like, had some issues, have seemed a little bit better. All right, the first of the 27 stickers of the set. I'm assuming that just like last year's ones, you're pretty much gonna put all the stickers on at sort of one point once most of the build is done. But yeah. One thing I really did like about these ones was the rear wing. I thought they did a very good job of that last year. Alright, do decent enough applications. Oh, a couple more stickers for this part of it. I'm interested to see what Cadillac's car looks like this weekend. I guess there's there's 3 left, and they're all Sunday and then Monday for the other 2. And then after that, I'll have the idea of what the entire grid looks like in terms of car design for next year, or this year, I guess. But yeah, I think overall, based on sort of what the suit looks like, I think the Cadillac car is going to look a bit boring, because I'm assuming it's mainly black carbon fiber. But yeah, I'd like to get a few of those colors that they have in their logo on the car. I think that would look kind of nice. But yeah, it should be. I'm interested to see it. The race suits were all right, I guess. A bit plain looking, but I feel like that's the case with most teams. Audi's look was sort of plain, and I'm assuming Cadillac's will be as well as they get more and more into the sport, and they'll have a bit more of an identity in it. All right, that is 2 bags into the set. The next I do like how these paper bags tear. I feel like it's relatively easy to do that. But yeah. All right. Couple more prints. These are pretty nice ones. Nice texturing for Ninja and Shark. I guess one of the few things interesting about a lot of these F1 cars is getting a lot of brands that you wouldn't think would be on like a Lego set or something like that, that get included into these sets, and making like what Ninja's got. I know Shark's got vacuum cleaners. Ninja, I guess, got a lot of food processors and stuff. Wouldn't necessarily expect that for Lego set. Alright, couple more printed elements, and then some stickers. Okay, they do have a little bit of detailing on them, but some of these stickers are certainly, this one especially sort of has some very minimal detailing to it, but yeah. Alright, 17. I guess this build process would go quite quickly with how small of a piece count it is, without the 27 stickers that it has. I guess it will be a little bit longer with just how many stickered elements it has. Alright, 8 for Tommy Hilfiger. I feel like so far, though, this one has had a bit of a different building process to some of the others. Now it's starting to get sort of I did find that last year all the front nose and front wing areas were all sort of the same on all of them, and it seems like this one is pretty much the same thing, which is, I guess, a good thing, so that it actually fits with the look of last year's releases. I guess it'll be like if I don't know, I can't remember if there was like Cadillac rumored or not, but when that Audi comes out, that one won't really fit anything that came out last year, because it will just look completely different and smaller, and won't fit all that well. But this one will, I guess, fit into last year's lineup for a made-up 11th team. Alright, pretty much the same process, just on the other side of the build. $22. Alright, and once again that pretty much the same sticker as the other one on this nice, I like these sloped elements. These sort of two wide cheese slopes that they introduced a couple years back now. But some very nice elements. Speed Champions really, I think, has some of my favorite sort of element choices. and a lot of the parts that they choose and use. I feel like in a lot of cases it's the first time I get to use a certain part, and they use it quite well. And with all the new slopes that they've had over the last couple of years, there's been some very nice additions. Alright. And that, oh, I guess it's now on to, actually no, I don't think so, it won't be the front wing yet, because that part isn't in this bag, which is probably one of the nicest parts in any of these sets, is the printed nose area, just because they're so detailed with printing on the top and the sides of the part. There's certainly a lot of printing on those elements. Mirrors. With the spoon piece. Yeah, I don't know which one had the most stickers last year, but I think it definitely, I think there might have been one that was touching 30, but like 27 was definitely sort of at the higher end of these ones from last year. Yeah, it definitely, I feel like these F1 Speed Champion sets, especially these newer 8 wide ones, have to have like the highest ratio of stickers to pieces. I can't think of something else, because of course large scales, D2Cs and stuff, have huge sticker sheets, like the I don't know, like the Daily Bugle or something. I remember that had 2 like huge sticker sheets, but it's also got like 4,000 pieces, whereas this guy's got 268 and 27 pieces or stickers. So certainly I would think these ones have the one of the highest ratios of stickers to the amount of parts they've got. Alright, these printed elements in there. I don't mind stickers too much, so I guess it doesn't, I don't mind it all that much, but it's certainly a lot of them, but yeah, I'd rather have quite a few stickers to try to get as many details of the car as you can than none and have it look quite plain, because those larger icons F1 cars have big missing spots where they don't have the different cigarette logos and things like that, and I guess and without those logos, there's definitely some big gaps in that one, in those ones, but yeah. Alright, the next part of the build, I think, is the rear wing. this is probably one of my favorite parts of the build on these. I think it's pretty much the same. It's sort of the body of the cars and the chassis that are quite the different parts of each of these builds. The rear wing and the front wing are sort of the same build, if not, I think pretty much the exact same build on all of them. But I really like the build of the rear wing. I think they did a really good job getting that shaping across, and much better than the Aston Martin and the McLaren that they did before this one. I guess before that they did the Mercedes as well, which I thought was a pretty good one. But I think these ones are probably some of the best that they've done in terms of getting the cars shaping down the best. I guess some of the 6-wide ones that they did, and even before then, they had a few nice minifigure scale cars for smaller cars, but this larger era of cars definitely works with the 8-wide system. All right, that's on there. Yeah, well, I definitely sort of watch it every year, and I do cheer on the Patriots, so got a few Patriots items and hats and stuff. So I'm excited to see it. But yeah, I don't think it's like a huge thing, but actually no, I think it is, like, it's relatively big because the Bills are very popular in Toronto, in Ontario, so and so I guess not as much for this one, but if they were to get into it, I guess it would be quite big around Toronto. But like if you go into like a grocery store and stuff, there's big like chip displays and stuff with different advertisements for the Super Bowl. But yeah, I think it's relatively, like, it's decently large of a thing. But yeah, I'm excited to watch it and see it. I enjoy it each year. All right, the halo in there. And that is that majority of the car done now. Just missing the tires and the front wing. I guess it's gotten into a bad accident where it lost its, completely broken off its front nose and front wing. The rear wing is left undamaged, and it's lost its tires, which would be certainly a very interesting incident. All right. Ooh. This is a very, I always like these, this is definitely my favorite part of these sets. The printing on that front nose element with the printing that they add to the side of the element. Yeah. Now this was a really nice element that they introduced last year for the front suspension of these cars, and I guess they can't even use it in this year's versions, but I guess they used it for 11 different Speed Champion sets, so I think they probably got their use out of it. Yeah, a very nice element, and it was a nice one to see when they introduced it last year. Just get more of the shaping of the cars. Getting through the sticker sheet now, there's not a ton left for them. I think they've got a pretty nice bit of shaping on this one. I think they did it pretty well. Alright, the EA Sports logo. Little sloped element. And go. This one definitely, I think, has a bit of different building from last year's ones, but overall, since it's in the same generation of cars, it will be quite similar. Yeah, I'm enjoying this one. I like the minifigures. I think of the three movie Speed Champions cars from this year, this one's probably my least favorite, but that one was probably always going to be the case, considering it's my least favorite movie of the three of them. Yeah, I thought Lightning McQueen and the DeLorean were pretty good. I really want to see more cars sets in that scale. I'd really like to see Doc Hudson is sort of the main one that I really want to see, because I think they made a Duplo figure. Apart from that, they don't really have much representation of them in Lego. One thing I did like about these ones, how easy you can take off the front wing in case you want to have some sort of display of it with the front wing knocked off the car into the wall or something, which I guess this car got beat up a lot in the movie, so it's probably good that you can take off a bunch of the elements relatively easy to recreate a bunch of scenes in it. But the front wing build definitely seems pretty much the same as I don't know, I guess I think if anything within Lego, I think I would much rather work in sort of Lego design in that area. Like, I think I have enough skills transferable skills from architecture that can into like Lego design and stuff like that. And I guess I actually sort of have designed enough Lego sets and mocks to sort of have an idea of it. So probably not like a Lego store, but I definitely would consider like Lego design. I've definitely kept my eye on just looking at that and see what they put up for Lego design, because it's certainly would be interesting to do that. All right, last I think couple stickers. Yeah, I think there's 4 left of the pretty large sticker sheet this set had. One thing that they did improve with this one, I guess, is that they gave you printing on the ingot piece that represents the onboard camera of the cars. So I guess they did find some way to improve these ones from last year's one. I think they also improved the minifigure. They did a better job with the suit, the race suits, which still probably don't have as much detailing as they should, just with how many logos are on those things. Yeah, 2 stickers left, and a few elements. Definitely a few printed parts in the set, which is nice to see. Also, like large printed elements, so that's nice. As much as there's certainly a lot of stickers in the set, there are a fair amount of printed parts and some nice printed elements too. So yeah, definitely a whole lot of stickers, but I think they did a good job including some nice nice prints as well. And with that, the front wing is done. Looks pretty nice. The other suspension part, and then the Technic pins, and then the tires. The smaller front ones with the hard compound, the wheel covers in there. And now the rear ones with the larger elements. And last part of the set. Oh, so I guess you get 2, so you can swap them out depending on who's driving it, for the onboard camera. Alright, you get an extra of the cheese slope on the front wing with the Mercedes logo. And that one part that sort of was interesting last year's one, I think it was the only set that had them, but the McLaren one of these sets, the cheese slope, every other one had a printed one like this, but I think the McLaren was the one that for some reason had you put a sticker on this small 1x1 piece. But yeah, alright. Lift up the halo, really nice nice helmets on this one. Of course, they introduced that new helmet piece last year, but I think they did a better job printing on it this year, where it sort of goes all the way back to it, as well as some detailing on it. Just the overall race suit too has got some nice detailing on it that I think they last year's ones sort of were very plain. Um, Let the driver minifigure, in this case Brad Pitt's character, go in there, fit in there relatively well. Their head's still sticking out of the car, which sort of, I guess, negates the purpose of the halo. But yeah, overall, I think it's pretty good. I think it gets the shaping of these cars pretty well. Yeah, I kind of like the gold and black design for it, just because it reminds me of some of my favorite Formula One cars. But yeah, certainly a lot of stickers. But yeah, I think it's a pretty nice one, and yeah. Yeah, not too bad. I think definitely fits with the other ones, and probably a pretty timely release. I guess if this one had released when the movie was coming out, it would have been even better. But it's not like it's a year or two from the release of the movie, so they released it at a relatively decent time. And yeah, I guess of course releasing this, I feel like March might have been a better choice, considering that the Formula One season starts instead of in January. But yeah, I think this one of them all, or of the three movie Speed Champion sets, this one's probably my least favorite, but it's still pretty solid. And yeah, I don't mind it. I like the minifigures too, and it's nice that you get two of them. I've liked that you've got in the DeLorean, and then this one you've got two minifigures, which is certainly quite nice. But yeah, that is the build of this set. I guess the only thing that I can see is that the sticker, the color of the pearl gold on the stickers, you can see it especially on the rear wing since it's just so large, but the color of the gold doesn't necessarily match the gold color all that well on the pearl gold parts. But yeah, not too bad. I like this one, and certainly will go well with my other F1 cars from Lego. But yeah, next week I think I'm going to be building another Ninjago set. I think either some of the new January sets, or I still have one of the big mechs that I need to build from Ninjago. But yeah, and then also next week, the crowd support stage for the Bricklink Designer Program Series 10 begins, and for this series, I decided to design a few projects. So I have 4 models that they've all been approved, so they're going to be going into the crowd support stage starting on Monday. And yeah, I'm excited to see how that goes. I've got a video, a short, and then a community post, as well as probably an Instagram post for it. So yeah, I'm gonna put up way too many things on Monday about the crowd support stage beginning for BDP Series 10. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the 4 designs, and they were pretty fun to do. Yeah, see how that goes. I think the designs are announced March the 19th, and the grad sport lasts until February 20th. But yeah, and then that's about it. I guess with Formula One, there's some big Formula One stuff coming up. The season is quickly approaching. It feels like it just ended, but it's the new season's starting pretty soon. But yeah, Sunday Cadillac car reveal, Aston Martin and McLaren car reveals on Monday, and then I think Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are testing in Bahrain, and then testing a second week of testing the week after that, and then it's pretty close to the actual first race in Melbourne. But yeah, should be a fun year. I'm very excited to see Formula One back, but also with new regulations and really new engines and having no idea how anyone's going to do. I'm very excited to see how the year goes and to see Formula One back in action. It should be pretty fun, and yeah. But that's about it for today. I think I actually have a spot to put this set because I'll just put it with my other cars from last year's lineup. So that's always nice, actually, having a spot to put the set after I build it. But yeah, that's about it for today. And yeah, thanks for watching. And yeah, I will have another stream coming out probably next Friday or a few days before that. I don't know. The sets I think I want to build, I'm waiting. I think they just shipped today, some Ninjago stuff. Yeah, but thank you very much as well. And yeah.